Hello friends, the Deathless Lord Cerberus here. If you fancy a very good, decent night's sleep tonight, where you're not checking under the bed, where you're not jumping at the slightest shadow, then I suggest you leave this video now. But we all know you won't. You're intrigued. I've piqued your interest. You're now wondering if these stories will actually scare you. Let's find out. This is 2 true nightmare-causing horror stories. Enjoy. Beautiful black hair. When I was 16 years old, it was a very low point in my life, and I ended up getting hospitalized for 4 months over the summer. The doctors were afraid that my heart would give out if I even did so much as walk, so if I wanted to go anywhere, I had to call a nurse to take me in a wheelchair. My mum and dad visited me every day, not always together. Whenever my mum came alone, she would take me out in a wheelchair to the beach access behind the hospital, so I could get some fresh air and look at the lake. One day, my mum had came to visit, and she took me out to the beach as usual. While we were waiting for the elevator down from the ward, a man stopped my mum and me. "Your daughter has such beautiful black hair." The way he said it gave me the willies, kind of in a Buffalo Bill-esque, "I want to wear it" way. My mum thanked him and chatted a bit, but I just looked the other way and ignored him. I could feel his eyes on me though. We all pile in the elevator, and as soon as the doors close, I feel something tugging at my hair. I glance over and realise that the guy is playing with my hair. I'm pretty creeped out here, but I don't want to cause a scene just in case he has a mental disorder and can't help himself. So I just leaned over as far as I could in the wheelchair so that he couldn't reach me without alerting my mum. Anyway, we reach the bottom, get off, and my mum and I start wheeling over to the beach while the guy just stands by the elevator and watches us go. I told my mum what he did, and she said she'd make sure to do something if we ever saw him again. After that, we kept seeing him, always by the elevator. He'd make a comment about how beautiful my hair is. My mum would nod politely, we'd go in the elevator, and he'd try to play with my hair, but my mum would move in the way. We'd get off, and he would watch us roll out. Creepy, but we decided he was harmless. Until about a month later, we went down to the beach as usual, and this time we didn't see him at the elevator, but we didn't think much of it. At some point, my mum had to use the restroom, and it was mutually decided I was old enough to take care of myself for 3 minutes. I was sitting in the wheelchair, looking out at the lake and enjoying the sun, when I started getting pushed. Thinking it was my mum, I turned around to ask for 5 more minutes. Nope, not my mum. Nope, it's the fucking guy. He's pushing me towards the bushes, and the look on his face is predatory. I scream, but the only other people out there are in a canoe in the water. So I make a decision. I decide, if I'm going to die, I'd rather it be heart failure than this dude. So I get up out the wheelchair and start legging it towards the restrooms. I look behind me to see if he's following. Unfortunately, he's not. He's just standing by the wheelchair, looking shocked. I guess he thought I was paralysed. I make it back to my mum, who'd run out of the toilet upon hearing me screaming. We both look back, and the guy's running like he's got a rocket up his arse. My mum carried me on her back to the wheelchair, then we rushed to inform the hospital staff. They put a watch out, and for the next month there's security hanging around the elevator on my floor. But he never came back. So, creep who preys on the sick and disabled, go fuck yourself, and I hope no one ever sees you again. We don't want to ride home. One night, which was on the verge of becoming the morning, I was getting my food shopping done, because that's when I'm not busy. I see this girl, who is very slight, which is similar to my stature. There is a man following behind her, about 5 meters, so I know that they aren't shopping together. To describe this man, he was probably in his 30s, not horribly tall, but by no means short either. The way he's looking at her, it's a weird, predatory look, and I know that look, as I have unfortunately been on the other side of it. I don't want to take any chances, so I go up and start a conversation with the girl. She, Alice, turns out to be very friendly, and we have a lovely chat. All the while, the guy is still following behind. I find out that she walked here from her apartment and would be obviously walking back, so I offered to drive her back. As soon as I said that, the guy popped up. "I can drive her," he offered. Not surprisingly, she declined his offer, but he was very insistent and turned on me. He kept saying that it would be a shame if I had to waste my time driving her home, and it would be better for everyone if he just drove her home, like that was going to happen. Alice and I just looked at each other and tried to walk away, but he tagged along, saying the same things over and over. He even ended up saying that I looked too tired to drive, and he would be happy to drop me off as well. How about no? Unfortunately, at this time of night, finding an employee or anyone in a cavernous grocery store proved as difficult as finding the actual Waldo at a Waldo convention. At his point, he kept trying to touch her hair, among other things, and I decided that food could wait till the day I was off. I put my basket of food down, and Alice sees what I'm doing and puts hers down as well, and then we just sprinted. We practically flew to the car, and as cliche as it sounds, as soon as I hit the lock button, he was trying to open the car doors. He resorted to pounding on the windows, screaming that we should just listen to him and be obedient women. Such a pleasant person. I finally realised that I could drive away, and so I nearly drove over his toes, which I will always be proud of. We did end up reporting it to the police, but nothing ever came of it, because somehow the grocery store we were in didn't have security cameras. Funnily enough, not a week later, some were installed. So, you weird ass guy, let's not meet, because if we do, I would feel obliged to run over your toes.